Netanyahu got what he deserved. Israel is falling apart under him. Palestine could become independent with global support. If we don't have freedom of speech, we don't really have a free country. And right now, as we all know, Israel is in chaos. Ever since Donald Trump started ignoring them and chose to join the CCL alliance in the Middle East, things haven't been the same. Israel's security isn't what it used to be. It could now be pressured by other countries at any moment.
Domestically, Netanyahu is facing political instability. His right-wing coalition is trying to weaken the independence of the judiciary with controversial legal reforms. These moves have sparked massive protests across the country from lawyers, judges, and ordinary citizens worried that democracy is at risk. That's why Netanyahu has become a public enemy to many Israelis.
After Trump stepped away, many countries around the world quickly started putting pressure on Israel. China was the first to act by boldly breaking the blockade on aid to Gaza. Turkey's President Erdogan has repeatedly criticized Israel, and now French President Emmanuel Macron is joining in with strong pressure on Netanyahu. In an interview with a French TV channel, Macron said what Netanyahu has done in Gaza is unacceptable and frankly disgraceful. He called these actions some of the worst he's ever seen. As a result, France is determined to push for a review of EU-Israel relations, meaning Europe may stop cooperating with Israel altogether. Reportedly, even Netanyahu's own inner circle doesn't want to back down yet. Until recently, Israel was still dropping heavy bombs on Gaza, killing about 80 people according to reports. Europe, realizing this, is growing tired of Israel's actions and is likely to increase its pressure soon.
The situation in Gaza is extremely critical. Israel's military operations have destroyed nearly all of the region's infrastructure. According to Gaza's Ministry of Health, more than 52,000 people have died as of April 2025, most of them civilians. Things got even worse when Israel started blocking humanitarian aid in March 2025, causing severe hunger, especially among children. According to a report by the World Food Programme, the aid warehouses are now empty, and food supplies in Gaza's public kitchens have run out. Medicine is gone too, leaving many without proper treatment. Honestly, this is a global failure when it comes to basic humanity. It's a tragedy that has sparked worldwide anger and massive pro-Palestinian protests demanding a ceasefire and justice. Now, many world leaders are openly criticizing Netanyahu, feeling that negotiations are pointless.
It all started when Trump began distancing himself from Israel and leaned toward alliances in the Middle East. In many negotiations, like nuclear talks with Iran, ceasefire discussions with Hamas, or the Sandra initiative, Trump no longer includes Israel. Israel had hoped the United States would push for normalization with Saudi Arabia, but Trump hasn't shown interest. In fact, he lifted sanctions on Syria, something Israel clearly didn't like. While in Qatar, Trump even said the people of Gaza and Palestine deserve a safe future, though he still holds negative views toward Gaza's leaders. Seeing all this, it's clear that Trump is stepping away from Israel. He's reportedly frustrated with Netanyahu's arrogant and stubborn attitude. So Trump made his choice to put American interests first and maybe even earn the title of peacekeeper.
Europe is now following China's lead in breaking the Gaza aid blockade. Erdogan, who has long criticized Israel, sees this as the perfect moment to push back harder. Back when the world was silent, he was one of the few who kept speaking out. Recently, President Macron said again on TF1 that what Israel is doing in Gaza is totally unacceptable and shameful. He called for an immediate stop to supplying Israel with offensive weapons, noting that Israel heavily depends on US arms. Macron also said the first priority should be ensuring aid can get into Gaza. When asked about sanctions on Israel, Macron confirmed that France has already stopped sending weapons and supports, changing the EU-Israel trade agreement.
In other words, Israel could soon find itself totally isolated internationally. According to Radio Free Europe, the Netherlands previously proposed reviewing EU-Israel trade and cooperation due to the Gaza crisis. That proposal might lead to an immediate cut-off of trade ties that have existed since 2001. The Dutch initiative has gained backing from several EU countries and will be discussed by EU foreign ministers next week. Belgium, Finland, France, Portugal and Sweden have publicly supported the Dutch foreign minister's proposal, and Macron recently said again that he's ready to back it. Looking at the current situation, Israel's position is now weaker than ever. Before, only 14 countries, including the US, supported Israel at the UN. If the US stops defending them, Israel is in deep trouble. US power, especially its UN veto, is extremely important. That's why Netanyahu is now deeply disliked and seen as a failure by many Israelis. In short, if Europe stops working with Israel, it will hit their economy hard. Exports and investments will be disrupted. And for those who don't know, the EU is Israel's biggest trading partner. If those ties are cut, Israel is in real danger, especially now that it's lost a key ally diplomatically. Still, Netanyahu's harsh and arrogant stance seems likely to continue, especially his attacks on Gaza. But the world is finally taking real steps to stop the humanitarian crisis in Palestine. Honestly, people are fed up with Israel's reckless and disrespectful behavior. Yes, some countries still support Israel, but with America stepping away, its power just isn't what it used to be. It's only a matter of time before things collapse. Let's pray for the freedom of the Palestinian people. Hopefully, they will soon live more peacefully and independently. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Here at S News, we're committed to giving you fair and traditional news coverage. See you in the next